Chapter 6, Life on the Other Side. The next day, after spending the night on Harley's couch, she drives you across the city, to a place that immediately spikes your heart rate. What are we doing in Philia Heights? It's off limits. Didn't you read the citywide memo LoveCorp sent out a few years ago? Actually, you know what? Don't answer that. Harley snorts, amused. Are you really telling me you're some stickler for the rules? Because you've broken about a dozen this week alone. I only break rules for good reasons. I believe it or not, trespassing for fun doesn't count as a good reason. But we're not here for fun. We're here so you can learn more about people like Chloe. Besides, is it really trespassing if the area is abandoned and all the buildings are condemned? Yes? She sighs heavily, rocking her weight back and forth on her heels. Look, there aren't any laws about being here. The written warning was enough for the LoveCorp sheep. That's for everyone else. Well, you'll see. And you're sure it's safe? You worry too much. But no one here will hurt you. I guarantee it. She gestures for you to follow her deeper into the neighborhood, but you stop as soon as you take another step forward. The smell of the area is awful, a mixture of sewage, scrap metal that leaves your stomach churning. Isn't there anywhere else we can do this? This place freaks me out. Something about it just feels wrong. I can't explain it. To your surprise, Harley's face softens. She looks almost sympathetic. LoveCorp only wants people to think that Philia Heights is dangerous. Really, it's just an abandoned project they don't want people looking at. And if it makes you feel any better, I've been coming here since they bailed. That doesn't reassure me. Since, you also impersonate waitstaff, harass unsuspecting junior employees, and drive a death trap. Hey, you voluntarily boarded that death trap twice. It's a miracle I'm still standing here to talk about it. I get that you're worried. Maybe this'll help. She digs around in her bag and pulls out a stack of papers, a brightly colored flyer on top. What are those? Papers I've collected on Philia Heights. They talk about all the projects and why LoveCorp abandoned it. Read these and you'll see that there's nothing here to be afraid of. She holds the papers out to you. Diamond choice, I'm assuming. Hell, maybe you'll even pick up more than I was able to, being a LoveCorp employee and all. Called it.
Oh my god, look, it's almost like you can predict the future of these diamond choices.
I know, it's almost like I've been doing this for ages. I want to read about the area's previous use. Most of what we consider Philia Heights was previously forest, existing well outside the city limits. See map attached. They were a few existing buildings outside of the city's previous boundary, though each of them was in rough condition. They lacked basic amenities, including internet, TV, automated cleaning, and smart functionality. The roofs and walls in these buildings were often in such a state they couldn't be repaired. It remains unknown whether the area had any inhabitants in the years preceding the expansion, as everything was abandoned when construction began. If any disputes are made, those individuals should be reminded that, intentionally or not, they were living outside of LoveCorp's jurisdiction, which is illegal. Wow. Do you really think people used to live here because before it was part of the city? Harley shrugs. I assume so. I'm sure there have always been people who didn't want to have anything to do with LoveCorp. This was probably a good place as any, until it wasn't. I can't imagine living that way. It sounds horrible, being that disconnected from all the advances we've made. Some people like that. Harley scoffs. Just because it doesn't have all the things you're used to doesn't mean it's bad. Really, all you need to get by is electricity, water, and some plumbing. And sometimes the plumbing is optional. I know, but, I'm just saying. Project's purpose. In 2033, LoveCorp released their plans to revitalize and expand the district that used to be here, which would, in effect, expand the city. The hope was that this would become a premier district for couples, drawing new people into the city from all corners of the globe. Early concept art shows how Philia Heights would have catered to couples by offering an exclusive shopping district, fine dining, and nightlife. Non-paired individuals would be allowed to visit, but the district's homes, designed to be sleek and modern, would be couple-exclusive. There was also a discussion of offering first dibs on these homes to senior LoveCorp members, which the company hoped would encourage others to relocate. Okay, I feel like this shouldn't be my takeaway, but please don't say it sounds awesome. I mean, it does. Imagine what this place could have been. Museums, shopping, culture, nature, all in one. All they've had to do was make it happen is bulldozing an itsy-bitsy forest. Trees that have been here for hundreds of years. I like her even more. You really can find the negative in everything LoveCorp does. Oh, because, destroying a whole forest. That's not negative at all. Take it up with your company, Ward. I'm just the messenger. Issues that arose. Almost as soon as the project broke ground, problems began to occur. There were numerous reports of equipment theft, vandalism throughout the construction area, and no amount of extra security or surveillance seemed to curb it. Workers began to describe the project as cursed, especially as delays piled up and incidents grew more dangerous. Structures would collapse at night in spite of previous efforts to stabilize them, newly replaced pipes burst without warning, and engines on the construction equipment would explode. Eventually, the cost ballooned to a level that was unsustainable. Rather than bleed money into an area that had already developed a bad reputation, LoveCorp pulled out of the project entirely. Things must have been really bad for LoveCorp to give up on an initiative this big. I don't think they had much of a choice. Even if they'd managed to finish the project, no one would have wanted to move there. Not when rumors had already begun to spread about it being cursed. I guess it is odd how so many things went wrong and they couldn't figure out why. Talk about unlucky. Anything that big is rarely caused by happenstance. There's always a person behind it, or more likely people. You really think people sabotage the project? I know I would. To save a forest? Yes. People lived here before LoveCorp decided to rebuild it. Maybe they didn't like having their homes taken. That too. Abandonment of the project. For years after initial construction began, LoveCorp insisted that they fully intended to return to work on the district. However, despite the issue being raised at multiple leadership meetings, it was ultimately dismissed altogether, leaving the district in half-finished state. Leadership wished to push newer, shinier projects in other parts of town, erasing the stain of Philia Heights in the process. Because of the unfinished construction and the area was deemed dangerous and uninhabitable, LoveCorp launched a marketing campaign to inform the public to stay away. The mysterious accidents that plagued its construction seemingly vanished once it was abandoned, though surveillance equipment continued to fail to the point LoveCorp stopped replacing it. Citizens have also reported seeing lights on in the area, but investigations have never turned up evidence of that. Maybe it's aliens.
Yo, bro, the lights at night.
Oh great, if the buildings don't collapse on me, I have to worry about the place being haunted. How is it supposed to help me feel safe? It's not haunted, Ward. The buildings are actually fairly well constructed. One of the few things LoveCorp has ever done correctly. Then why abandon it? Why claim it was dangerous? Because it's called propaganda! Because they couldn't control it, and there's nothing LoveCorp hates more than having no control. Well, you were right. Seems like the place really isn't as bad as the memos made it sound. You cast another glance at the empty streets surrounding you, trying to push away the nausea that comes with it. Hey, Ward, eyes on me. She offers you her hand with a surprising gentle smile. I won't let anything bad happen to you, trust me. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go with trust level yet, but okay, fine. I do. Her eyes widen as you say the words. I know we've only known each other for a few days, but you have more than earned it in that time. You never failed to amaze me. Then what are we waiting for? Taking her hand and a deep, shaky breath, you cross the threshold into Philia Heights. Harley squeezes your hand as she leads you into one of the buildings, where you find a strangely homey space full of people. The furniture is bare bones, everyone is dressed in shoddy clothing, but they all smile and wave the moment they spot Harley.
I thought we wouldn't be seeing you for a while, Harley.
You know I can't stay away. Well, welcome back, honey. You know we're always happy to see you. The people seem to pay you no mind as the two of you weave through the room, smiling at you the same way they do Harley. What is this place? Who are these people? This is the life on the other side, Ward. These are all the people LoveCorp has failed in one way or another. People just like Chloe. But there are so many of them. It's almost like LoveCorp is a malignant force that's gone unchecked for far too long. Your eyes dart around the room, taking in the dozens of individuals milling about as if this is normal. This isn't even all of them. There's another dozen hanging around in the rest of the hideout, and that's just the ones here. There are more? Not everyone wants to live off the grid like this. Some people prefer to keep up the appearance of a regular life. And you know all of them? Because I've been looking. I can introduce you if you want, then you can hear from them what they've been through. Harley flashes you a smirk. Unless you're too scared, that is. You're in the middle of rolling your eyes when a young woman rushes up to Harley looking panicked. Harley, goodness. You're here. Milo had another fall this morning and he's still not feeling well. Harley swears under her breath and begins to power walk away, forcing you to jog to catch up. Slow down. What does she mean, not feeling well? Milo has chronic migraines. They mess with his vision and give him dizzy spells. A bunch of people here have similar issues. We assume they're from LoveCorp's brain scans, but we can't prove it. Chloe had headaches too. I know. You continue to follow after her, only to come to an abrupt halt. I had a headache last night. Should I be worried about that? Depends on what you mean by worried. I mean, will it happen again? It's possible. Some people are more sensitive to the technology, so it takes fewer scans for them to start having problems. But there are plenty of people out there who have never had any problems. Your headache might just have been a one-time thing. Harley shrugs. You don't sound like you believe that. Expect the worst, and either you're right, or you're happily surprised. So what about you? Do you ever get the migraines? Nah, I never applied to the soulmate program. I always figured that was why. Harley leads you to a corner of the room where an older man sits hunched over in a folding chair. Hey, Milo. Bad day?
Oh, bad month, bad life. It seems like I can't catch a break.
Glances up and spots you, and despite the clear pain in his eyes, he smiles a little.
And who might this be?
I'm Harley's friend. Harley laughs softly as she presses her fingers to Milo's throat, checking his pulse. Wait, weren't you just calling me a stalker a few days ago? Would you rather me call you that? There was no option for it. What can I say? You've grown on me, like a fungus.
Oh, it's nice to hear she's making friends. She's always been a bit of a loner.
Stop talking about me like I'm 10.
You've always going to be a kid to me, kid.
So what's going on? The medication isn't working?
It was working great until I ran out. I figured you wouldn't be able to bring more for a while, so I've been making do with ibuprofen.
And no luck?
My luck ran out a long time ago.
Harley brings you medication? Can't you just go to the pharmacy? You missed the whole LoveCorp owns everything. Just throwing that out there. Milo turns to you incredulous. He watches you closely as though searching for something.
Where'd you find this one?
You wouldn't believe me, even if I told you. Harley rummages through the first aid kit left on the floor nearby. You want to know what I do all day, Erica? This is it. I trade goods around the city, and then I redistribute them.
It sure is a fancy way to say smuggling.
Smuggling, that's... I mean, you clearly see what she's doing it for, so it's noble in this aspect.
That's what I keep telling her.
Harley raises an eyebrow, you looking skeptical. And here I thought you'd be horrified at the thought of doing anything illegal. I mean, you're making sure that other people have what they need to get by. That's worth breaking the law for. Suddenly, Milo winces, clutching his head, and Harley kneels by his side, forehead creased. I'm sorry that I don't have the medication. I've been so busy.
It's no big deal, kid.
No, it is. There's no excuse for it. Harley stands and turns to you. Or, I guess that's a lot to ask, but would you come with me to get the medication? You want me to come with you? This way you can see what my life looks like firsthand, and how people like you can make a real difference in the city. And I'll admit, it'll be nice to have someone there to watch my back. All you had to do is tell me, lass. Let's go ahead and get your medication for you. You didn't know I could do a little, Scottish/Irish, did you? Did you? Of course. We need to get Milo those meds as soon as possible. Harley grins, the tension in her body easing. I'd hoped you'd say that.
That's really not necessary. I've dealt with...
Hang tight, Milo. We'll be back soon. Ward with me. You fall into step beside her as she crosses the room and grabs 2 small bags near the door, handing one to you. What are these for? Collateral. Soon you're speeding down the city streets on Harley's bike, weaving in and out of cars. Careful. Watch this. She revs the engine and takes off on an open stretch of road that leans back to balance you both on the wheel. Cling to her, because, what other option do we have? You just squeeze her around the middle, and when you come down from the wheelie, your chest is fully pressed against her back. You alright back there? This close, you can feel her slow, steady breathing. Smell the woodsy scent of her, a mix of pine and smoke. That's a good smell. You're not sure why, but something about that sets your heart racing at ease, and you lay your cheek against her back. Better now. Me too. Slowly, the scenery around you starts to grow more familiar, though much of the architecture is a few decades out of fashion. Harley parks her bike just off the road and leads you around the block. Okay, well, this is better than Philia Heights, but I wouldn't say this neighborhood is my favorite either. Hey, this place has got more character than that apartment complex of yours. Well, if I wanted character, I'd read a book. As you turn the corner into an alley, you spot a woman waiting by the back door of an older building, holding a plastic bag. Are you from... Yep, that's me. Here. She hastily thrusts out one of the bags you brought, and the woman unzips it, pulling out a hand-woven blanket. That's what we're trading? It's high-quality wool. Should be more than enough to keep your kiddo warm this winter. The woman nods, almost absent-mindedly, and hands Harley the plastic bag, which you see is full of canned food when she passes it to you. Can't you just buy this stuff? Lord! Harley shrugs as the two of you turn the corner of the alley to head back to her bike. I guess in theory I could have sold that blanket and then gone and bought the food, but corp creds leave a trail, and at the scale I'm working, they would have caught you a long time ago. She nods as you both climb back on her bike and take off down the road again. Harley, have you ever come close to being caught? Did you ever want to do something else? Do you hate me for loving at work, or working at LoveCorp? Yeah, loving at work. Lord. Did you ever want to do anything else? She shakes her head. No, I always knew I wanted to help people. This just happens to be the way I can do that. I feel like most kids dream about being astronauts or roboticists or marine biologists. She laughs. those jobs were not exactly an option for me. Harley pulls into a driveway of a condo building, where she knocks 3 times on one of the ground floor units. "Eddie, open up, it's me." A man peeks his head out and quickly grabs the bag from Harley while handing her a pair of silver earrings. Then he slams the door shut. "Good to see you too, man." "Okay, food, blankets I get, but our earrings gonna help us here." "Watch and learn." She leads you into an alley behind a pharmacy and knocks on the back door 3 times. A moment later, a woman in a lab coat opens the door. "I have a pair of fine silver earrings to trade you, Sydney. I just need 3 bottles of medical grade..." Oh, I love this word. "Pedigrulinium." The woman shakes her head pathetically, even as she eyes the earrings with evident interest. "The medication is a distribution nightmare, Harley. I know you know that. I can only stock it because you make it worth my while. Or at least you did, but a pair of earrings, that's not enough for that much." You clear your throat and they both turn to face you. "Ma'am, this medication can save a man's life, and without it, I don't know what will happen." The woman sighs, looking extremely put out, though you notice her face soften slightly. "Guilt tripping is a pretty low blow for you, Harley." "Hey, I'm not the one doing it." "Fine, just bring me something better next time." "You got it." Yeah, just get out of here before somebody sees you." With the medication in hand, the 2 of you drive back to the hideout where you find Milo still sitting in the same chair. "Here you go, my friend, fresh off the pill maker machine." Or whatever. She gently places the bottle in his hands and he smiles gratefully.
Thank you, Harley. I'm in your debt, like always.
No doubt, like always. And anyway, it was Erica that convinced Sydney to hand over the meds.
Really? Well, my thanks to you as well, Erica.
I will just follow her lead. She's the expert here, not me. I wouldn't say that. You're better at diplomacy than I. Intimidating people? I got that down. Everything else? Not exactly my forte. Really, but you're such a people person. Come on, there's still a lot of people I'd like you to meet. Later, Milo.
Thank you again, Harley. Erica.
I'm just glad we were able to help.
Yeah, feel free to stop by any time. Harley doesn't bring friends around here often. Or ever.
Okay, that's enough from the old man. Milo cackles as Harley ushers you across the room and through another door. In the next room, people sit in folding chairs, chatting happily as they eat food straight out of the can. Oh, you're back. How's Milo doing? We actually went and got him his meds, so he'll be fine. But I wanted you to meet my friend Erica. Erica, this is Crux. She's been here for, what, just under a year now? Something like that. Nice to meet you, Erica. No, likewise. Where were you living before? Oh, downtown. Eventually it got too expensive to live there unpaired, so... You couldn't find a partner? Crux snores. I've never wanted a partner, romance, marriage, or anything like that. And that was the problem, at least according to LoveCorp. Hard to do anything when your city revolves around couples. I've always hated how restricted things were, but I was always comforted myself by knowing I'd get access eventually. To not have that guarantee, even if you stick with LoveCorp, it's not a guarantee either, right? Yeah, Chloe never got to enjoy any of it. Harley puts her hand on your shoulder to guide you over to a group of 4 people, their limbs loosely draped over one another. Erica, meet Max, Packer, Quinn, and Dawson, Philly Heights' finest polycule. Oh, we could put that on a t-shirt. Polycule, you mean all 4 of you are... You gesture vaguely and they all laugh. Sorry if we broke your brain. I just always thought everyone followed LoveCorp's rules. Believe me, we tried, and we were miserable the whole time. I had no idea so many people were unhappy with the system. Sometimes it's hard to see the problems in a structure that's working for you. But the truth is, love is free, Ward. You don't have to pay a love technician or ask a complicated algorithm to find it. It can just come to you as natural and easy as breathing. God, I wish it would for me. How long have you all been together? 3 years, give or take. At first we tried to act like two separate married couples with, vaguely swinger vibes. Eventually that became too difficult. We were sure LoveCorp was going to accuse us of infidelity and have us arrested. I'm sorry to hear that. It all worked out in the end. But if being with more than one person is something that interests you, we're always happy to talk, and you know where to find us now. You nod, still reeling. What would you be, a fifth wheel? Seriously. Anyway, I'm just saying. And Harley slowly leads you over to an empty corner of the room. I know it's a lot to take in. It's just so unfair. LoveCorp is supposed to find people happiness, not rip it away from them. And what's worse is, I never even considered any of this. That's not your fault, Erica. LoveCorp does everything in its power to make sure that you and everyone else know as little as possible. Not that I've done that much to try and open their eyes. Maybe that would be more... You're only one person. And you can't save everyone. There's always going to be someone you can't help, and that's not on you. I have to try. I owe it to everyone to try. Harley, seriously, you're taking too much responsibility. It's going to crush you. I've always been like that. I don't know how else to be, I guess. You and me both. I mean, you could try asking someone for help. Oh, no offense, but... Yeah, okay. We're not even gonna get into that. Haven't had anyone I could ask before. There you go. She actually summed it up pretty well. She looks thoughtfully over at you for a moment, her eyes lighting up. There's actually a place near her that I go to unwind. Forget all the stuff I have to do or should do and just... I don't know. Be? I've never brought anyone there. I figured I'd never want to, but... She turns to face you fully. You're surprised by the openness of her expression, the clear vulnerability there. I'd like to share it with you, if you want that. You know, let's see what she has to offer. That sounds lovely. She leads you to a building down the street, one that's plastered with the no trespassing. Not a nitpick, but I think we might be ignoring some clear directives. Laws only matter when someone is enforcing them, and by that logic, PH is a free country. Somehow I don't think that argument would sway a patrolling officer. Well, there's always Plan B. Plan B? Bribery, obviously. Come on, live a little. You're already breaking rules by being in the district. You might as well go all the way. She heads into the building, knocking down one of the signs on the way, and with the shake of your head, you follow. Following up a flight of stairs, you find yourself in the mostly empty warehouse, the ceiling decorated in a variety of colors. Did you paint all those? What? Can't I be artistic? I just didn't know you were. It's beautiful. Why don't you add to it then? You turn just as Harley picks up a spray can from the floor and tosses it to you. You want me to use those? That's graffiti. Do you know how much trouble I'd be in if I was caught vandalizing private property? You're already technically trespassing. Do we need to talk about this? I'm the only one who ever comes here. Even if someone else found it, they'd never know it was you. It could be our little secret. Taking a deep breath, you shake the can and turn back to the wall. Alright, I'll spray paint a crossed out LoveCorp logo, Harley's motorcycle, a heart. She's never done art or anything before. I would love to see her attempt at a heart, a heart too, but Harley's motorcycle. Harley nods approvingly as she takes in your finished work, then laughs when you add a cartoonish version of her, complete with a big smile. I think it's a good likeness. I don't smile like that. I beg to differ. Harley grabs another can of paint in wild swirls next to you, and together you slowly transform the brick wall into a colorful canvas. Want me to draw your boss falling into a vat of flesh-eating acid? That's a very graphic image. Oh, and that's not a no. Harley, have you ever wanted a soulmate? What's your weirdest smuggling story? How'd you end up with your bike? Why not the bike question? I mean, I'm pretty sure they don't even make those models anymore. I had a little too much freedom as a child, and the kids I hung out with all had them. Kids on motorcycles? Nah, they were just regular bicycles back then. We used to ride all over the city. Just as they got older, they traded up, and they kept trading up, and eventually one of them offered Vivian to me. I didn't realize she had a name. Every good bike has a name. But anyway, we've been living happily ever after since then. The two of you fall into a peaceful quiet again. Then Harley clears her throat, suddenly serious. Ward, there's something you should know about me before I drag you any further into this. What is it? I told you that I never applied to the program because I didn't want to, and that's true, but there's another reason too. Applicants have their birth records checked, and I don't have one. I'm not in the LoveCorp system. But I thought all babies were registered with the company when they're born. Isn't that the law? It is, but I wasn't. There's no record of me. But that would make you a fugitive? Yeah, I thought you should know that before you decide if you want to stick around. Being around me is dangerous, and you should have the choice to walk away. Hell, if anything, that makes her more digital footprint proof. Like, they could run facial records on her and they literally and figuratively have nothing on her in the system, so yeah, she's actually safer than that scientist you're with. Harley, this doesn't change anything. You're still the same person you were a few minutes ago. And what kind of person is that? Someone who doesn't mind getting into trouble, someone who cares about other people, someone I can call a friend. Well, I'm glad to hear it. You walk over to the window, gazing out of the brilliantly lit city beyond the warehouse, and she follows after. We should probably head back to my place if we don't want to get caught being out after curfew. Let's just enjoy the view for a little while longer. She nods, leaning up against the windowsill as she looks out at the horizon. Sometimes it's easy to forget how beautiful the world can be when you're too busy living in it. You hum in agreement, admiring the way everything seems to glow from the storefronts to the billboards. I thought there was a forest nearby. Just saying. Turning back to Harley, you see she's already watching you, her eyes sparkling in low light. YOLO. Acting on pure impulse, you search for, capturing her hand where it rests against the windowsill. As soon as you move, she immediately closes the distance between you, pressing her lips to yours. Was that all right? More than... She meets you in another kiss. This one is as frantic as the first. She pulls you in by the waist as she deepens it. You're panting for breath by the time she pulls away, and you find yourself immediately missing the warmth of her body against yours. Wow, that was... incredible. She takes your hand in hers, giving it a gentle squeeze. But we still need to be getting out of here. You lead, I'll follow. You kissed a girl and you liked it. What? That night, you're back at Harley's apartment when your phone vibrates and you realize you've missed quite a few texts. Alright, so... if you're getting these, call me ASAP. Erica? I don't know if you're ignoring me, but there's something important we need to talk about. And if you're with Harley, that's fine. This affects her too. Hey, what do you make of this? You pass the phone to her so she can read the text, and she scowls as she scrolls. I bet he reported you. Damn it, I should have seen this coming. You think he told LoveCorp about Chloe? Harley, Nico wouldn't do that. I know that you don't like him. I never said that. You didn't have to, and look, I get it. He's a senior employee at LoveCorp. He's working on the same tech that's hurting people. But you have to trust me when I tell you that he's not a bad person, and he'd never do anything that would hurt me. That wouldn't stop him from hurting me. Of course it would. He knows you're important to me. It's worth hearing him out, at the very least. Can I invite him over? You could just call him. Oh, sure, Mikasa Sukasa. Her voice is thickly coated with sarcasm, which you elect to ignore as you text her the address, or text him the address. Around 10 minutes later, there's a knock on the door, and you're relieved to find Nico waiting on the other side, alone. Erica, thank God you're alright. Nico, what's going on? Your text made it sound like it was serious. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you worry. Last night was kind of intense. I feel like I'm still in fight or flight mode. What happened? Well, after you left, Oscar talked to me for a long time, and he insisted that I get you to stop asking questions. You've gotta be kidding me. He was going on and on about loyalty, reminding me how long I'd been with the company and how good the company had been to me. His face twists in disgust. Obviously, that didn't reassure me that nothing suspicious was happening. The opposite, actually. The thought of going back to work, knowing that my tech might hurt people, kill them, even. He takes a deep breath as he pinches the bridge of his nose. I won't be a part of it anymore. I want answers, real ones, and I need both of your help. But do you realize how risky that is? You could be killed or fired then killed. Or killed then fired. You're big on following protocol at LoveCorp, I hear. Not helping. I know what the risks are, and I know that I have to do this anyway. Harley, what you said about not being in the system, is that gonna be a problem? She shrugs. Probably. It's the reason I've never gone into LoveCorp buildings before. We'll figure something out. Erica and I know the company systems backwards and forwards. If anyone can get you in, we can. And I know exactly where to get the information we're looking for. He smiles, a flicker of mischief in his eyes. We're going to break into LoveCorp's restricted labs. And roll credits! Without further ado, thanks for watching. So, I'm going to go ahead and change up how I usually do this. Dear listener / reader, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, share the content, share the channel that you most likely love, right? And it's probably the reason you're here. You are allowed to enlist anyone to your team to accomplish this mission. As always, should you or any of your team be caught or killed, we will not disavow you, but we will bring the full force of Liam Neeson and his skill set down upon whoever did that to you. Without further ado, thanks for tuning in. Love your beautiful faces. Catch you all later. Peace out.